Holy Islam. He welcomes your questions as the topic, and tonight he will tell us what Toastmasters means to him. Help me welcome Dr. Sabeel Ahmed. Lessons learned, Dr. Sabeel Ahmed.
The time was 6 p.m. and I was getting late for a very important meeting. As I sat down in my car, I was holding the wheel with one hand, and with the second hand, I had a paper on my hand. Never try this at home. Not good. As I opened the door, when I arrived at the meeting, I found out there were 20 wonderful people sitting up there. You guessed it right. It was the Toastmaster meeting of our meeting here. The first speaker was called, the second speaker was called, and then they called out my name. Here comes Mr. Sabeel Ahmed, and he's going to give his icebreaker. I got up from the back of the room. I walked up in the front. My palms were all sweaty. My knees were shaking. I was very nervous. I gave my icebreaker. And after the icebreaker, everyone started to clap. I was thinking, what happened here? Did I become the Toastmaster World Champion of Public Speaking on my very first speech? That night, I went back home. My wife asked me the question, so Sabeel, how was the meeting? I told her, the meeting was fine. However, all of them, they were liars. I was horrible and they were all clapping, but I loved them. Many weeks passed by. As I was speaking more, I was getting more confident about my public speaking skills. Received a call from a mosque in Gary. And they requested me, Brother Sabeel, our imam cannot make it for this Friday. Can you come and give a Friday sermon? I said, fine, today is Tuesday. I could come and do it. So for the next 3 days, I prepared for the sermon. And the topic which I chose was Quran, the guidance for humanity. So for the next 3 days, I was preparing it. I was preparing in front of the mirror, memorizing the passages. Then I went to the sermon place, to the mosque. When I opened the door, it was not 20 people, 200 people, they were waiting for me. I said, wow. I went up on the stage. I was looking at the paper. As I was about to start my sermon, the president of the mosque, he came running by and he introduced me in front of the crowd, saying that here is Mr. Sabeel Ahmed, and today he's going to speak about the wonderful work that he's doing on behalf of his organization. I said, no, that's not what I prepared for. That's not it. At that point, I was reminded of table topics. Yeah. So the first lesson I learned was A, to accept people. This was the second lesson. B, be ready always. Not get ready, be ready. So I gave the sermon. People liked it. Now many more days, many more weeks passed by. The president of the mosque in Morton Grove, he approached me saying that next week we have a fundraising dinner coming up. Can you come and be the fundraiser? I said, I have never done that before. But he said, we have seen you from being a shy boy into becoming a good speaker and a good leader in the community. You could do it. And then he said, I know that you're taking some Toastmaster classes. I said, yes, sure. What time should I be there? Then I asked him the question, how much did you guys raise last year? They said 25,000. I said, wow, it's going to be a challenge. Let me be ready. I was focused. I prepared. And I went there to the banquet, not 20 people, Not 200 people, 800 people were waiting for there. I felt very nervous. As I went up on the stage, when my name was called, I went up there, all my fear went away. You'll be surprised to find out what happened, Sabeel. What happened was, the lectern they had was this tall. And I'm this short. I hid behind the lectern like this. And people were thinking, is this a speech or a magical act? At that point, I was reminded of an important lesson. C. C for connect with the people. I moved aside the lectern, I hold the mic, and I came in front of the people. No barriers, connect with the people. Tell them the stories. We motivated at that night. Not only we passed 25,000, we passed 50,000. We raised 75,000 that night, yeah. You could clap if you want, yeah. Why not? Why not? So my dear Toastmasters, my fellow guest, the lessons that we learned as being a Toastmaster, they shouldn't be restricted to the four walls of this building. I urge you, I challenge you, I encourage you to take these lessons outside the building and engage and enhance the society. Take the lessons that you learn from being Toastmaster, go to your homes and become a good storyteller for your kids before they go to bed. Connect with your spouses from the lessons learned and connect with your children, with the parents. Take the lessons that you learned, go to your business place as being a good employer, good employee, enhance the meetings. Take the lessons that you learned from over here, become a spokesperson for a nonprofit. Help out for a good cause as being a fundraiser from the lessons that you learned. And last but not the least, engage with the bigger society with the lessons that you learned from here. Establish societies, build on morality and tolerance, and justice and peace for all. And that will be the best usage of the lessons learned as being a Toastmaster.